And today's session will cover foundational technical training lesson 1 about the overview and the basic configuration. Yeah, let's get started. In the first part, let's check what is PBX. Yeah, about PBX, what even is PBX and the IP PBX. Let's kick off the fundamentals. PBX, the Private Branch Exchange, is a telephone switch system that connects the internal users and the root cores. We can think of it as a private phone system network for the business. And historically, the PBX evolved from the manual switchboard, yes, the old plug and switch days, and to the mechanical and electronic system, and then to the digital switch. And but this traditional PBX had the limits, like the bulky hardware, the single function design, and the high maintenance costs. And then came to the IPBX, a telephone switch based entirely on the IP protocol. And unlike the Lexing PBX, the IPBX runs software over the network and supporting like the voice, video, conferencing, and more, and all in one system. It used protocols like the SIP, yeah, the most widely adopted standard today, and the H323, the MGCP, or the H248 to enable the flexi and cost-saving communication. Yes, so what makes the IPBX special? Yeah, it's an IP-based telephone switch system, or the voice function run on the software, and it has the actual like the video calls, the conference, the managed secretary routing, and you can manage it remotely, and it also can work with the old PSTN line with the gateways. And why the IPBX beats the traditional PBX? Yeah, the Lexing PBX with the features like the bulky hardware and the single function and maybe the local only maintenance and the long deployment cycles. But about the IPBX, compact or the software based and the feature rich remote management were very friendly web and fast deployment. Plus, the cost, no expensive physical wiring, and you can integrate with the existing SIP phones, gateways, or even the traditional PSTN lines. Yeah, and next, let's dive into the Dinstar UC IPBX product lineup. It's a full lineup of the unified communication solutions and paired with the powerful software tools, all built on the SIP protocol and the software ecosystem that comes with every UC, like the DRS, the attendant desk, the PMSI for the hotel, and the enterprise billing and the address book. You know, these tools turn a basic phone system into a unified communication hub. And the Dinstar UC series isn't just a set of devices. It's scalable, and a software-powered platform built for the business of all size, from the small size to the global enterprises. Yeah, and then let's check the details. The UC200 Pro is compact, powerful for the small to middle-sized business, coming in two forms, the desktop one and the recommended one. And here shows the appearance of our UC200 Pro. Yeah, as you can see, there is a fixed FXO and FX port. and the network port, and a console port, and the USB port, and a TF card slot for the call recording. Yeah, it's up to 500 zip extension and 50 concurrent cores, planned for the growing teams, and built in the TLS SRTP encryption for the secure cores, and the voice conferencing, voicemail, IVR, and hot standby, and supports 3 optional expansion models like more FX and FXO port to scan as you need. And here, labeled is indicator about the power, the rounding, the FX and FXO, and also the USB, the TF. We can quickly check the system status at a glance, And for the 2 models, the desktop one and the recommended version are nearly identical in the specifics. Yeah, only the mirror the differences in the power supplies and the dimensions. And our UC300 and 300, UC315 and 315 Pro, as for the larger teams and enterprises, it's designed for a bigger business and for their appearance. Both the one you recommended and the Pro version has extra parts like the reservoir, the HDMI, and a more expansion option. And we have noticed their dual power supply on both is critical for the high availability. And their key features step up again. The UC315 supports the 1000 CPU extension and the 120 concurrent cores, and 4E1, and about the UC315 Pro scans way up 5000 extension and 500 concurrent cores, and 16E1 and plus 4G port for the faster networking. Yeah, from the comparisons, the Pro model is built for the larger scale, high demand environment, and is more capacity and more ports and more expansion flexibility. And here, label is indicator. We can have a quick overview. Yeah, and about our UC8000, it's a software-based IP PBX built for the large organizations. It support up to 20,000 extension and 4,000 concurrent cores. It's perfect for the multi-branches enterprises and deploy it on the premise in virtual machines or the cloud, and expand the features on demand based on your business size, and also with the rich features like the hot standby, the multi-party conferencing, and the third-party API integration for the custom workflow. Yeah, and how to manage it. We can just log into the UC web interface. It's a very clean and modern dashboard for the both admin and their personal account access. Yeah, across all Dinstar UC IP PBX models, you can get a huge suite of the built-in features from the basic tools like the core transfer, hold, the recording to the advanced ones, like the auto attendant, the hot standby, the voice firewall, and the multi-language UI. There's even enterprise-grade tools like the car billing, the black and white list, and video calls. Yeah, no extra software needed. Yeah, and the next, let's move into how you actually use the system. Dinstar uses IP PBX feeds every industries like the finance, insurance for the secure client calls, the hotels paired with the PMS for the room service and wake up calls, and the factories and the energy power, education, also the express logistics. And any business that needs a reliable and scalable communication. Yeah, we have two core deployment models. The one is the new or in IP system, and this is for the business building a communication system from scratch. You can connect the IPBX to the LAN and pair it with the IP phones and link to the outside world for the SIP trunk access. It's all IP, and so the networking is simple and the deployment is fast, and also the maintenance is very easy. It's very suitable for the 200 to the 1000 users. And if you have the old traditional PBX, you don't have to replace everything. Use our UC with a gateway, maybe like the DAG 3000 or something else to keep your analog phones. And this retains the user's habits and saves the cost and lets you upgrade smoothly to your IP features. Yeah, to recap what we have covered in this session, we learned about the basic of the PBX and the IPBX, and we explored the Dinstar UC layout from the compact UC 200 Pro to the enterprises UC 8000, and plus their core features and the software tools, and we walked through the real-world application scenarios and the networking setups. And then let's go to the basic configuration guide, and we will know how to set the network and how to make calls, and also how to make the common functions. Yeah. Firstly, let's have a briefly look at the how to access the devices at the first time. Let's check the physical connection first. Our UC200 Pro and the UC315 support the gigabit Ethernet port, and the management port is the G1, and the service port for the G1 and the G0. And for UC315 Pro, the management is changed. The G3 is the management port, and the service port from the G0 to G3. So at the first time, we have to connect to the devices with the PC under the same switch or connect directly to access our devices. Yeah, we have to set the same network segment as the default device's IP address. Yeah, our default IP is 192.168.11.1. So we have to make the same network segment as the picture shows. And then we can access the devices was the default IP address. Yeah, and this is our default account, the username and the password. And then we can log in. Yeah, after we log in, we can check the device's UI and see the status as our picture shows. Okay, so next let's check the configuration for the core making. Yeah, let's make the internal cores and all this extension registered to our UC. So step 1, we have to go to the network page and set the IP address for the service port. Yeah, we go to the system network page and select the network port which you want to connect to and click Edit to set the IP address. Yeah, we have noticed after we setting the IP address, we have to save the application and reboot to take effect. And step 2, we have to create a SIP stake. We have to set the stake name and choose the SIP listening interface and the listening port. And the others we can keep default or set according to your own needs. And step 3, we create the extension. We can create by the bench or single, one by one. And we choose the SIP profile as we created before and set the extension username and password. And the last step, we have to go to the PBX global setting and voice page. In the root part, we have to enable the local extension core. Yeah, it's very important for the internal core making. Yeah, and next we do the endpoint registration. We set on the IP phones and the FX gateways. We make sure the account username and password is correct. Yeah, that's all. Then we can make the internal calls between these IP phones and the analog phones. Yeah, we can have a check. Let's check it. Yeah, after we log in, we can check the status of our UC. We can see the device usage, the service status about the SIP, HA, and AMS, and also the device information, the license information, and the port status, and also the voice service status. Okay, so how can we make the internal calls? Let's repeat. Yeah, we set the network first. We added the service port and we assign an IP address for it. And we enter the IP address, netmask, and default gateway, and the DNS. And then we go to set the SIP stake. Yeah, as we can see. And here just an example. Yeah, we choose the SIP listening interface. And we set the listening port. This one is the default one, and you can set as you want. And this you can set according to your needs. Yeah. And next we create the CP extension. Yeah, we can create maybe one by one. We set the extension number and the C password. And this you can configure according to your needs. And also we can do the bench configure maybe. Yeah, we set the start extension and extension account. And we set the C password policy, maybe the RSAN or same with extension, up to you. And the C password. Yeah, and after done, we have to save it. Okay. And the most important part is we have to go to the voice page, right? The voice page, we have to enable the local extension core. Yeah. After this done, we can make the internal extension core without the root. Yeah, and this one is a typical setup for the multi-office enterprises. The IP PBX connects to the IMS network via a SIP trunk and lets your internal phones and make and receive internal calls, external calls. And the IPBX also links to the AMS for the centralized monitoring. And on the LAN side, the switch connects to the IP phones across multiple office areas. And so all the location shows the same communication system and with the seamless internal calls. Yeah, how to set it. Let's check it. Yeah, the same step we have to create the internal extension. And then we set up the SIP trunk to connect to the operator, like the IMS, and name the trunk, and enter the operator's IP address and the port. And we have to choose the SIP profile, which we need to link to the trunk to your external network. Yeah, this is how your system connects to the outside world. And the last, we have to configure the core router. Yeah, the core route. Then we go to the core route page and select the core source and the destination. Then this internal extension can make and receive the cores through the trunk. Yeah, let's check it. Yeah, same step, we'll create the SIP extension. And next, we do the SIP trunk. As an example, let's check it. Yeah, IMS, and I input the IP address and the peer side port. And also maybe if we need to register to the IMS trunk, we enable the register and enter the username and the other username, the password, and these others you can set according to your needs. Yeah. After we created the SIP trunk, we have to create the root. Yeah. If the core like the IMS to extension to local. So I have to choose the source as the trunk I created before. Like this. This is the source. And then we have to choose the correct destination as maybe like the local extension. And you can also set some limits for the route, like the number matching, the prefix, or the time profile. Yeah. Okay. And the application 3, set up for the business using the traditional PSTN line or our FXO port. Our UC connects to the PSTN network through the FXO port. So both the modern and the legacy devices can make and receive the external calls. Yeah, what changes? Yeah, we configure the FXO trunk instead of the normal SIP trunk. And the others we can keep the same. We create the extension and then we go to the FXO trunk and we select the slot and the port where your FXO model is installed. And we enter the PSTN number and the autodie number. And next, we also have to set the route. Yeah, we choose the corresponding source and the destination. If like the incoming call, we choose the destination. We choose the destination as the local extension. If the outbound call, we choose the destination as the FXO trunk. And then we can make the calls through the PSTN line. Yeah, we check it. Yeah, we have to, after we create the extension, we have to configure the FXO trunk. Here, just an example. Yeah, we select the port and we set the name and we set the number, also the RDI number. And this is according to your PSTN line to adjust some parameters. Yeah, and we create the route. Yeah, maybe we make the outbound call from the SIP extension 8003 to your cell phone. So the destination we have to choose the FXO trunk part 1. Yeah, that's finished. Okay. For for the larger business needing the high core capacity using an E1 trunk, maybe with the PRI signal or the SSH protocols, and to connect to your telecom network. And one E1 supports 30 concurrent cores. Yeah, it's very easy for the enterprises. And yeah, there are also 3 steps for the configuration. The step 1 is also to configure the SIP extension. And after done, we have to do the E1 or T1 configure. Yeah, we go to the E1 and T1 page, and we name the trunk, and select the E1 slot, and set the type as the PRI. And just like a PRI, if you use the SS7, we set the SS7 configuration. Yeah, and for the PRI, we have to choose the switch side. Yeah, this matches your telecom provider setup. And if we use the SS7 signal, we have to configure its parameters. Yeah, we custom the name and select the slot, and we choose the type as SS7, and we configure the S7 trunk and SS7 MTP link, and configure the CIC. This related parameters configuration is consistent with the operator. And it's very critical for the connectivity. Yeah. And the last step, we have to link the extension to the E1 trunk. So we have to set the route. We set the core source. Maybe yours, if the outbound core, we set the source as the SIP extension and the destination as the E1 trunk. And this setups lets your enterprises handle the high value calls for the E1 network. Yeah, because our demo is UC200 Pro, there is no E1 slot, so I want to show you the demo. And if you have the UC315 or 315 Pro or 8000, you can do this part. Okay, at the last part, let's check the common configuration, the practical tools that makes your IP PBX work for your business. Yeah, we will talk about the VLAN, the core key, the paging, IVR, and the recording. The virtual local area network lets you split a single physical network into the multiple logical network, and it's critical for the celebrating the traffic, maybe the voice and the data, and connecting to different operators like the picture shows. And the UC315 Pro use the VLAN 100 to connect to the China Telecom, and the VLAN 102 connect to the China Unicom. Yeah, keeping the two operator links isolated. Yeah, so how to set up it? Let's check it. Yeah, we have to, the first step, we have to add the VLAN server interface. Yeah, we go to the network page, and we choose the VLAN server interface and click the new to create the VLANs with their own IP setting. And the next step, we have to bound the VLAN to the SIP profile. We go to the SIP stack and create a specific SIP profile for each VLAN. And this links the VLAN to communication profile. And next, we have to assign the VLAN to the SIP trunks. Yeah, we go to the SIP trunk page and add a trunk, and we choose a matching SIP profile. So the trunk use the correct VLAN for its operator link. And this keeps the traffic organized and avoid the network configs. Let's check it. Yeah, the first one, we have to go to the network page. Yeah, and we go to the VLAN server interface page, and here just an example. We just show you an example. Yeah, we set the VLAN ID and we choose the interface, and we assign the IP address for it. Yeah, we can maybe the static IP address. Yeah. And after this stuff, we have to go to create the SIP stake. Yeah. Here we can choose the SIP listening interface as we created the VLAN. Yeah, we choose this and we set the listening port. After this done, and we go to the SIP trunk page. And we can set a trunk. It's a telecom. And we set the IP address and port. And we choose the correct SIP profile, which I created in the SIP stake page. Yeah, and now we have finished the VLAN settings. Okay, let's check about the core key. The core key is a must-have for the customer service teams, especially when you have the limited agent or the peak copyright, like the marketing campaigns. And so what it does, when a customer calls, the system intelligently assigns the call to an agent. If all agents are busy, the calls wait in the queue instead of dropping the call. And how to set it? Let's check it. We go to the advanced service page and we select the call queue and we set a queue number and then we choose the queue type and we select the call allocation policy and select the agent members. There are two types for the call queue. About the common queue is for the basic setups and the phones at the agent terminals. And about the attend console queue, is for the web-based call center and required for the call center software. And pick up a call allocation policy. That means how the calls assigned to the agent. And then we choose the agent members, the extension agent in the queue. Let's check it. We go to the advanced service. We go to the call queue. And here, we can choose the type as the common queue or as a common queue. And we set the queue name and the queue number. And we do the call allocation policy, like the simultaneously means all agent rings at once. And the nearly means the ring agent in order. It starts with the first agent every time. And the random, picks on agent randomly. And the memory round robin, the start ring from the next agent who hangs up last. It's a fair distribution. And the least recent, the rings the agent who's been in longest. And the fewest course is the rings the agent who's taken the fewest course. And after we set the call allocation policy, and we set the agent members, and maybe all, and we choose here. Okay, I can more than 8 agents. Okay, so okay, next about the paging. Paging is a one-to-many broadcast tools. It's perfect for the scenario where you need to reach multiple people at once, like the hospital, for the emergency alerts or the cross-department updates, and the schools, like the open ceremonies and daily notifications, and the shopping malls for the promotion and safety announcements. And its core function is very simple. To enable the one-way or two-way group communication. And how to set it? Let's check. We go to the extension and the call group, and we find the intercom and paging group. And we set a name and the number for the paging group. And then we choose the strategy and select members to add to the group. Here shows his example. We set the name, maybe the hospital emergency page, and we set the group number 999, and we set the strategy, maybe one-way paging or two-way intercom. Yeah, one-way paging means the members can only listen, can't respond. It's very India for the announcement, like the supermarket. And the two-way intercom means the members can talk back to the president, but cannot to talk to the members each other. And it's very good for the maybe the quick question and answer. And this and others you can set according to your own needs. And about the IVR, it's the virtual receptionist that guides the corner to the right department. You know, it's the key function is auto answer calls and place the voice menu, and lets the user select the option with the keypad, and supports the info queries like the account balance or the call forwarding. So how to set up it? Yeah, there are total 4 steps. First one, we have to create a ring group and add the extensions to each group and pick a ring strategy. And next, we have to upload the IVR audio file. Yeah, we go to the PBX global setting page and we choose the voice, and we upload the recorded manual prompts, like maybe the thank you for calling Dinstar, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support, and something else. And we can notice the file format. It must be manual, 8000 Hz, 16-bit, and size of no more than 3 M. And next, we have to set the IVR menu height. Yeah, we go to the IVR page and name the IVR, set the greeting tone, and we maybe the welcome message or something else as you want, and the menu tone. And configure the repeat loops. Yeah, the default is 3. It means the call hands up if no input after 3 repeats. And the last step, we do the IVR menu setting. Yeah, we map the DTMF keys to the destinations, and also you can set the tone to play before the destination rings. Yeah, like an example, we set a ring group. Yeah, we set a ring group. Yeah, we set a name and we set the members here. And we set the strategy, the ring strategy, maybe the sequence seeding or sequence cycle seeding or simultaneously or random. And we set our ring group number. And we can set the even no answer, maybe transfer to somewhere or hang up directly. And we go to the voice page to upload the IVR file. Yeah, we choose the IVR and we name it, and we choose the storage location, and we select the file maybe from your computer or the USB or something else. Okay, and then we go to set the IVR. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we name it and we set the menu hint, maybe the greeting tone and the menu tone and the repeat loops and the repeat policy. And we can set the operation settings according to your needs. And also we set the menu, the AVR menu. We set maybe DTMF at 0, and when I press 0, and the core will go to the ring group, and the group to the Dinstar team. And if I set number 1, maybe go to the core key. Yeah, you can set as you want. Okay. The last one about the call recording, lets you capture and store calls for the compliance and the training or the reference. It offers the 2 models, the local recording and save the files to the IP PBX local storage or a USB driver. And the streaming recording means upload the files to the external recording server for centralized storage. Yeah, we have to set the recording rules first, and we go to the CDR and the recording menu to choose the recording mode and adjust the parameters, which goes to record and the time of the day, like the picture shows. And next, we have to enable the recording for the extension or for the root. Yeah, for the extension, we can go to the CP extension page, and then we set the recording profile. And if we enable for the root, we set in the root page and choose the corresponding recording profile. And we can view the records in the CDR and the recording page. Yeah, this means play the recording files. And means download the recording files. And this means delete the recording files. Yeah, we can check it. Yeah, we go to the CDR and the recording page. And we choose the CDR. And here there is recording. And we have to set the policy first. Yeah, we choose one mode as you want. And then we can set the strategy. We name it, and we set the strategy like the band recording, auto recording after answer, or the manual recording after answer. And we can set the recording direction, maybe the inbound and outbound, or maybe we just want to record the outbound calls. And we can set the duration also, and we set the record target, maybe the corner or chord, and the time. Yeah, here is according to your type profile. And we can check the, and we enable this on here. Let's check it. This is enabled for the civic extension. Yeah, we enable the call recording profile here. Yeah, we choose, maybe we turn off it, or we select one record profile you want. Yeah, and for the root, yeah, we choose here. And we can check the recording in the CDR page. Yeah, as the picture shows, this means play, and this means download, and this means delete. Yeah, and we can play here. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of today's webinar. And if you have any questions about the specific configurations or require the troubleshooting assistance, Dinstar technical support team is available through our official website or the contact details linked to the QR code displayed on your screen. And we offer the comprehensive configuration guide for the features covered today. And maybe you wish to implement these configurations. So please feel free to contact our sales or our technical team to obtain the relevant documentation. And we are very excited to see how you leverage Dinstar UC to streamline your communication workflows. Okay, thank you for your taking the time to participate and posing such insightful questions. Let's see you next time.